everybody, welcome back to Movieverse. My name is Brian. Greg is joining me again, and we're finally back. We've taken a little bit of a break, mostly because of me.
We've been a little busy.
Yeah, I'm spearheading 3 semester-long projects at school, and that on top of exams and work. I'm a very busy person, and unfortunately, I do not get paid for this, so it's just a hobby. But we're back, and I actually have a new collector core box I haven't even been able to do an unboxing for because I've been so busy. Hopefully I'll do that soon. Unfortunately, I was scrolling on Facebook and Marvel, of all people, posted the contents of the box on Facebook. And when I saw it, I just scrolled past it real quick and didn't pay that much attention. But I've kind of seen what's in it, so I'm excited to actually get around to doing that eventually for you guys, and of course add to my ever-growing collection of stuff that I need a new bookshelf for.
Yeah, need some new shelves.
And did you say that you saw James Bond?
I saw Spectre, the Thursday night preview.
Yeah,
right?
And you were kind of like about it.
Yeah, it was plot wise was good, action was good, but there was a lot of scenes that kind of weren't necessary or went on a lot longer than they should have.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like I kind of left there like,
okay, yeah.
Like, see, so if you're a fan of James Bond, it's worth watching,
especially the Daniel Craig ones, because I love Daniel Craig as James Bond, and I didn't like Quantum of Solace, but I loved Casino Royale and Skyfall, and I want to see this one. I just haven't gotten around to it because
Christoph Waltz is a good villain.
Yeah,
he's a good Bond villain. I'll put it that way. Like he really plays into that like kind of deranged attitude, but just kind of. It felt like some of the shots, like there's a scene that's shot in Morocco. Mm-hmm. Not necessary in the movie whatsoever.
Spoilers. It's in Morocco. Spoilers.
But it felt like they shot it. They shot these scenes there because they probably got some kind of tax credit or something.
Yeah.
So but you could have easily tied in the important plot points from that into any number of other scenes.
All right, yeah, so, I mean, I've been busy. It sounds like you have, been busy actually watching movies. I don't have time.
Yeah, and I've been doing some research for a new show I want to start.
Yeah.
I've had some technical difficulties in getting that started. Yeah. Namely, my camera keeps crashing my computer every time I'm trying to run it.
What kind of camera?
It's this is one of the Microsoft, like, HD webcams. Oh, okay. I don't have a budget for it. Nice, fancy DSLR like we use for this.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And now I'm broke.
Yeah.
But
I've been doing some more research for another show that hopefully will be getting going pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I look forward to that, to be able to have some more content to put up on the channel. Because I know, like, when we're just doing like these shows and like I can't, do it on a specific weekend. It kind of, leaves our channel a little bare for a week or so. So I thank everybody who has, continued to be subscribers to our channel and supporting us in that way, and people who, comment below our videos and have conversations with me. I really enjoy that stuff. But let's go ahead and get into our topics for today. But right before we get into these topics, I want to address the elephant in the room. No, we will not be talking about spoilers that are getting posted on the internet about Star Wars. I'm not doing that. I'm not even reading them. I see this stuff on Facebook, and I'm just like, nope. And I just made a post on Facebook today about how I'm probably going to like cut ties with all social media for the remaining time that we have until Star Wars, because they've done a really good job of keeping it secret, and then there's people who just want to ruin that for people, And granted, I know that the source that this comes from it's a retailer type of thing that I think was probably accidentally released, but so we're not talking about any of those spoilers. But what we will talk about Star Wars is the new international trailer that got released. It was like, surprise, new trailer.
Thanks, Japan.
And it didn't give us any more like plot points or anything like that, but it did give us a few more looks at certain characters, a few more looks at certain action pieces that we've already seen. But Luke is still not in the trailer, which, J.J. Abrams has said that is for a reason, so we will find out when the movie comes out. But what did you think about the new trailer and the new posters that came out with, everybody had something like in front of like one eye, like they were at the eye doctor?
Yeah, normally I'm not a big fan of movie posters. Like they don't really do that much for me one way or the other.
Yeah.
Those looked awesome.
A lot of people complained about the big poster that came out.
Yeah,
that had like all the characters on it. So, but I liked that poster. It was really colorful and stuff.
Also, the Japanese full cast photo had a lot fewer people in it as well.
Like I saw that poster and it looked a lot less busy than the one that got released.
But as far as the trailer goes, there's the scene in the woods. Kylo Ren holding the lightsaber up to Ridley's neck,
and she looks scared as shit.
Yeah, I so hope Kylo Ren, he looks such a badass, such a villain, that he will continue through this new trilogy.
Oh, I think a lot of people are believing that he is going to be the new Darth Vader.
And I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Not a Count Dooku or a Darth Maul.
Yeah, which is interesting because, the thing about the original trilogy is Darth Vader is such a badass. But with the technology that they had back then, they couldn't really get into, the lightsaber battles. And they did a good job with it for that time. But now, with the prequels, you could say that the best part of the prequels were the lightsaber battles. But now that our technology has gone even further, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the lightsaber battles, the use of the Force, that kind of thing. Also, the TIE fighters and the X-Wing fights. We got another look at that, where we're basically following an X-Wing as it's flying around, shooting a TIE fighter.
They have wide shots. We saw probably 30 or so X-Wings and TIE fighters fighting each other.
And the technology is allowing us to do that, which is going to be amazing to see on the big screen.
And also, they're doing it in environments, not just out in space.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. With the Star Wars movies, it was always the big battles with the X-Wing and the TIE fighters were always in space. It was just a lot of blackness.
That way they didn't have to worry about backgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was. I think that's one of the things I recognized from the original teaser, where it just had the X-Wings that were flying over the water. Yeah, and I was just that's beautiful.
Yeah,
it was an amazing shot. And then so we just see more of that, the X-Wing action in the trailer. So that's awesome. I think I'm really going to like Finn and Rey in this movie.
You did also see more dynamic between the two of them.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that much of Poe. We've seen a little bit.
We just seen him in the cockpit and
But he hasn't said anything yet.
No, he has not said any.
So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with that character. But as far as Finn and Rey, like you said, they introduce themselves in the newer trailer. Where she's I'm Rey and I'm Finn. So it's so there's going to be a relationship there, whether it just be friends or whatever. But there's going to be some type of relationship between those two characters.
I'll probably imagine it would be similar to the Luke and Han kind of relationship. I would feel not necessarily not really
like a brother and sister relationship.
No, more it's kind of. I mean, like I said,
I'm not saying that they're brother and sister. I just mean that kind of friendship.
Well, I'm saying more Luke and Han. It's more kind of.
Well, yeah, but they were brothers in arms. Though.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking I'm thinking more literal brother.
No, not brothers in arms type of thing.
I don't necessarily see it as a romantic thing or anything. But
so if Rey and Finn are brothers in arms, right? Then is Poe Princess Leia? Are those two characters, Finn and Rey, going to be vying for Poe's affection?
Could be.
Very progressive.
But again, you see BB-8 in Poe's X-Wing.
Yeah.
So
I think we've seen that. Didn't we see that?
Well, you saw it in the last one.
Yeah.
But you saw it again in this.
Yeah.
Or I think you see more of a close-up.
Yeah, and I think that is after Rey, Poe, and Finn all meet up. I think that's afterwards. Oh, yeah. It's kind of the same thing with Leia Organa, where R2-D2 ends up finding Luke, and then once they're together, Luke joins the Resistance or the whatever you want to call it, and so then Luke uses R2-D2 in an X-Wing. I think it's gonna be the same type of situation there. But yeah, I mean, was there anything else from the trailer that we really saw? I mean, we heard Kylo Ren's voice again. It sounded a little bit different than the U.S. trailer that got released. it sounded there was like something that's just slightly different from it that I noticed, and it was just like a different like tone. It was
It felt like it did kind of feel like that audio was kind of cut together differently.
Yeah,
it felt like there's a longer pause between like, you know, and we will finish this. But again, like it's kind of again like it is kind of the elephant in the room. Really, is Luke not being shown at all.
Yeah,
like, and I almost wonder. This is my complete fan theory that Luke is responsible for the Knights of Ren.
That's been one that's gone around for a while. That would make sense. As like,
and like so basically, he feels kind of like
he did start them, like as like to you know teach people in the ways of the Force. Kylo Ren, like, you know, it's kind of like a mutiny thing.
Or it's a case of like
Luke basically banishes himself.
Luke finds Ren, the planet of Ren.
Yeah,
he finds it as this Force sensitive planet.
Yeah,
except it turns out to be dark side.
Yeah,
you know, and so kind of. Ren gets then obsessed, or Kylo gets obsessed with, you know, Darth Vader and like the dark side.
Yeah,
and so I feel like Luke probably feels guilty and does like a self-imposed exile.
Yeah, which would make sense of why, you know, he, you know, might not come in until like the last third of the movie.
Yeah, because again they said Kylo is a title, not a name as well.
Yeah, exactly. But you know that could all be wrong. Kylo could be, you know, a Skywalker. He could be, you know.
I think Kylo is a Skywalker.
This is the thing that I love about what they've done so far with the Star Wars marketing. We don't know. Yeah. We don't know who or what he is.
Yeah.
So
the more I'm thinking of why Luke's not involved, I really feel like it's more and more Kylo Ren is a Skywalker.
Yeah, in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's what's fun about the Star Wars movie and not actually knowing is that we get to speculate and
find out December 18th.
Exactly. Well, 17th is when I'm finding out. Got my tickets before the sites all crashed. That's what I'm talking about. So, staking on the Star Wars, you know, topics, we have BB-8 is a female droid.
Question mark?
Yeah. So, J.J. Abrams basically. You know, there's never been a female droid, as far as I'm aware.
As far as Star Wars goes.
Yeah, in the Star Wars, you know, movies. And so BB-8 looks to be like a female droid, which I have no problem with at all. I mean, it's just like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's kind of interesting. Like, yeah, like it's like you don't think of droids not having a gender associated with them.
Yeah,
it's like the fact that you specifically call it out, like
R2-D2 I never really thought as a male or a female,
other than the fact that they refer to R2-D2 in like the male pronouns.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know, for whatever reason that just never like really stuck with me. But yeah, I mean, as far as like if BB-8 is a female droid, like, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know, like it doesn't.
The only kind of insidious thing
offend me.
The only kind of insidious thing was like, they pointed out that. Or forget who
the female droid has balls.
No, that's hey, more power to you. But it's that like they basically said it was designed to appeal to girls.
Well, I mean that's fine. I mean, you know, when they started bringing in all the data from the ticket sales that they did, like, you know, when it was breaking all those records, I think it was like 65% were men of the age of like 35 was like the average age or whatever. So it's like, well, yeah, you want to bring in more like women into this demographic. Yeah. That's why you have Rey as the main character, as a strong female character, which Star Wars needs. You know, you have Leia Organa in the original trilogy, but now Rey, I think, is going to be the main character. She's going to be the Luke of this series, which is great. It's going to be awesome to see her in that role. I love Daisy Ridley. She is like such an adorable person. If you saw like her reaction to the Star Wars trailer, she was in a hotel watching it, and like it brought tears to her eyes because, you know, they are Star Wars fans.
Yeah,
Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, they're Star Wars fans. They grew up on Star Wars and now they're in Star Wars, and you can tell that they're very authentic in the way that they feel about the movies and like their reactions to what's going on. Like John Boyega, he saw like in the trailer, like when he like lights up the lightsaber at the end of the trailer, John Boyega saw that and just flipped his shit because if I was to see myself in a Star Wars movie light up a lightsaber, I would lose it.
Yeah, because again, they don't see that.
No, they don't see all that.
Especially with all like the After Effects done. Like
he's probably just holding like
he's holding the hilt with a green screened like pylon attached to it.
It's like you're in the backyard as a kid. It's like
playing you have one of those like Toys R Us lightsabers.
Yeah. This kind of got off the topic of BB-8 being a female droid, but it makes sense. Maybe there'll be some type of love interest between BB-8 and R2-D2.
They're both astromech droids.
Just saying. But yeah, so... and also, Kathleen Kennedy said that they're going to be focusing on females a lot more in this trilogy than they have in previous trilogies, in the original trilogy, for instance. Which is fine. You have Captain Phasma, played by Gwendolyn Christie. Like... that character is going to be so badass. I don't know, between her and Kylo Ren, I'm like, which one's going to be more badass? A chrome stormtrooper, right?
Yeah.
With a cape draped over like a badass, like just walking through this burned town like she owns a joint. Like come on. But then you have Kylo Ren, who's force sensitive and all that. I mean,
and got that unique lightsaber that wild,
made by himself, basically. Yeah. So, gosh,
we can make a whole show about this.
Is it December 17th? I mean, it's December 17th, yeah, guys. I mean, yeah, we've already been talking for 20 minutes, and it's just on these first two topics of Star Wars. But, I mean, just to wrap up this topic, it's just, I've said this before. I'm not, to, like, my friends and stuff, I'm not sure if I said it on camera, so I want to say it on camera. When Phantom Menace came out, I was 9 years old. My parents weren't really into Star Wars. I mean, I think they saw the original trilogy, but they weren't, like, super fans. So when the Phantom Menace came out, I'm not even sure if I saw it in theaters. I think I might have, but I don't remember. And because I was only 9 years old, and it wasn't, like... It definitely wasn't one of those things that were, like, when parents bring you up, there's certain things that they're like, oh, like this thing, that type of thing. And that wasn't the case for me with Star Wars. So, I didn't see the original trilogy when it came out in theaters, obviously. Yeah. I saw the Phantom Menace, but it wasn't really an event for me. And this Star Wars trilogy is an event for me. This will be my Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because even though I've already seen the original trilogy, I've seen the prequels, like I said, it wasn't an event for me at that age. I was too young. I didn't really understand what was going on. I was just like, oh, pod racing. And I even had the pod racing game. Terrible.
No, that game was great.
No, it was...
that game was great.
Anyways, so this is going to be my Star Wars trilogy. And I'm so excited about it. Like, I already, like I said, I already have my tickets for the 17th at 7 p.m. Even though I don't need to camp out because I have reserved seating, I might go there a couple hours early just to, like... I'm sure there's going to be, like, Star Wars, like, parties in, like, the parking lot where people are just going crazy getting ready.
Tailgating like a football game.
Dude, I would so do it. That's the sad thing. I would so do it. And one more topic real quick before we go on to the next one is that a lot of theater chains are saying that you can't wear masks, you can't paint your face completely, you can't bring, like, blasters and lightsabers and stuff. Don't complain. It's for your safety. Okay?
And for your enjoyment of the movie as well.
Yeah, and I don't it's sad that we see stuff happen in theaters in Louisiana and Denver, all those tragedies at movie theaters. It's sad that that's happened, and this is where we've gone. But it's for your safety. It's to make you feel safe while you're watching the movie, so you don't have to be like, okay, well...
And it's the less inconvenient option.
You still get to dress up. You still get to wear,
but just
your
think
Jedi robes.
Again, just think if you had to, get patted down and, like, everything you brought would have to be inspected.
Exactly, yeah. And so, movie theaters don't have that kind of money to shell out for that. So,
and they don't want to shell out that kind of money.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't make their money off the movies anyways. They make it off concessions. Concessions won't pay for that stuff. But anyways, so I just wanted to mention that. Just calm down. It's okay. You still get to dress up. Just don't paint your face, don't wear masks, and don't bring any weapons. And then you're good. All right, guys? Cool. Next topic. All right, so moving on to the next topic. Doctor Strange production has begun in Nepal, and we have some set photos. Have you seen these set photos?
Yes.
Have you seen these set photos?
Both the legitimate and the captured ones.
Oh my gosh. There was actually a video that came out too.
Yeah.
But the video was literally just Benedict Cumberbatch walking. That's literally all it was. But I was still watching. I watched it 5 times. I'm like,
that man can walk.
Yeah, he's got the walk down. He's looking at some type of map. He's wearing, in the set photos you see this, he's wearing basically the regular street clothes. It's like, it's like ragged, like sweater and stuff. You can see he has bandages on his hands. So obviously,
at the same time, bandages are also blue.
Yeah.
So which means I feel like he's probably gonna have some kind of computer manipulated fingers.
Probably. And so obviously this is at I wouldn't say the very beginning, but within the first act of the movie, it's where it's probably the first searching.
Well, part of the later on story that came out with it, but I imagine this is probably like one of the first scenes after the title sequence, like title credits.
Yeah, it's obviously after Doctor Strange hurts his hands, and he's looking for a way to fix them. So that's, and then we see Baron Mordo in there, and Baron Mordo is wearing some type of robes. So I wonder if Doctor Strange runs into Baron Mordo. Mordo's like, "Here, I'll take you to, the Ancient One." But yeah, so we didn't see that much. Obviously, we
saw hobo Doctor Strange.
Basically, yeah, he's he has like a really like scruffy like beard. I'm sure after he finds the Ancient One, he'll trim it up into like a goatee, and he'll have like the white streaks on his hair, that kind of thing. Really excited, but also on here we have that like the basically revealing the beginning of the movie. So if you don't want to know this, just fast forward like a minute or two. So the movie starts in 1968. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Kathmandu. Kathmandu.
The H is silent.
Yeah.
The H is silent. Kathmandu. Oh, isn't that a Bob Seger song?
I don't know if Bob Seger, but it's
Kathmandu. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in a Bob Seger song. Anyways, so 1968 Kathmandu, where some zealots of dark magic managed to open a portal to another dimension. Leading them is a character named. What is this, Craig?
Calisius.
I don't know what. Okay, a character operating on a character associated with Baron Mordo. Then we catch up with Stephen Strange in modern day New York, operating on a gunshot wound. Afterwards, while chatting on the phone, he clips his car, causing an accident that damaged his hands. Okay, so is this saying that like Baron Mordo is like has been around for a long time?
Yeah, they kind of some like the speculation with the original story that we pulled that quote from.
Yeah, it
kind of speculated that through all of this like interdimensional stuff, it also can alter time as well.
Oh yeah.
Or it's just the fact that traditionally that Calisius, has dealings with Mordo.
Yeah.
And so like he has been around for 40 years.
Gotcha. Yeah. Don't give me segments that have weird words that I can't pronounce. Kathmandu, I'll give you that. That shouldn't have been too hard for me. I don't know why it was. I was just like the H was throwing me off. But yeah, so it's just man, I'm just so excited for it. I can't. 2016 is going to be such a great year.
What I really can't wait for Benedict Cumberbatch to put on like the cowl, like
the robes,
the actual Doctor Strange outfit, like. That's probably when I will lose my shit on this stuff.
I think before
seeing a hobo Benedict Cumberbatch isn't going to really do much. But.
I think before we see set photos of Benedict Cumberbatch in that outfit, I bet you anything, Marvel is going to release their own promo art or concept art or something of him in it, because that's not the first. You don't want fans to have that as their first impression of it. You know what I mean? Like
this is going to be
really grainy, out of focus like picture. They're gonna release it themselves, I would imagine.
Yeah, especially for something that's gonna be so like iconic and so his costume going forward. Like
it's kind of like Black Panther, right? As soon as they announced that Chadwick Boseman was Black Panther, they had concept art of it, right? Because they didn't want their okay, let's say that they didn't release that concept art of Black Panther, right? The first picture of Black Panther that we saw was a stuntman in a very loose version of the suit. Like it's their action suit. It's the one that the stuntmen use while they're doing their action, and you can't tell the difference because it's just they're flying past the camera. It's the hero suit that the actual actors wear that looks really nice. But we saw that action suit with the stuntman first before we saw. I don't even think we've seen Chadwick Boseman.
No, I have not. Yet. I don't think we've.
Yeah. So if we wouldn't have gotten that concept art, that would have been our first impression. I would have been like, you know what I mean? But since we had that concept art before that, I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is what it looks like on the stuntman.
The practical.
Yeah, the practical suit that like isn't like, where you don't have to like move your arms like this and like turn your head like that kind of thing. It's always like the Batman suits, right? You know, like the old Batman suits, you had to like turn your whole like shoulder because the cowl was just like
or like
stiff.
the whole like Iron Man armor. Like,
where it's just plastic, basically.
Plastic and cardboard.
So it would make sense to me that they would release some type of concept art or their own personal photo of Benedict Cumberbatch in the Doctor Strange getup before we see a set photo leaked of it. But yeah, so that's Doctor Strange production has begun. It is happening. Let's move on. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, okay?
This is your story because I'm not.
I've read all the books multiple times. I've seen all the movies multiple times. And I'm really excited about this. It has... EW has the...
We've got a cover story.
The cover story, yeah. And on the cover is Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander, the person who wrote the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is the title of the movie. And he comes to the U.S., or not the U.S., but the Americas, right? He comes to America.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if it's like... I'm not really sure
New York,
what...
So.
Okay, so it is in like... Not like it's modern day, but like
19... I believe...
Does it say on there?
Other stuff I've seen, it says like 1920s.
But it's like when the United States exists.
Yeah.
Right? That's so awesome.
It's basically kind of like that, like early 20s and that, like kind of flapper era.
So apparently the British term for people who don't have magic abilities is Muggle, and apparently the American word for that is No-Maj. I think is how it's pronounced. It's N-O-M-A-J, so No-Maj. I think is how you pronounce it. It's kind of growing on me. When I saw it, I'm like, really? But it's kind of growing on me a little bit.
Very American.
It is very... It's like, no magic. I don't have no magic. Very lazy, it seems.
Muggle?
But, yeah, Muggle.
No match.
No match. They ain't got no match. But, so, gosh, he looks great on the cover. I just can't wait to go back to this story, this world, because what other movies do we have that have magic in it? You know what I mean? Like, what was that movie with Jay Bushnell and Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Yeah.
No, like it just doesn't. No, Harry Potter. All right. It is a beautiful story. I don't care if you don't like it. It is a beautiful story. You cannot take it away from me. I was 11 years old.
Oh yeah, I completely understand why people love that series. It's just it never grabbed me.
I was 11 years old when they first started filming, or when they were first starting to look for kids to play Harry Potter. I so wanted to do it, but I'm not British. I don't have a British accent. My hair's not, real dark. So it's just like, it's a little brown, but it's not like black, Yeah. I always waited for that letter every year, and it never came. Dumbledore. No, this is just me on a tangent. This isn't even about the movie. The movie's going to be awesome. I'm excited for it. The cover on EW looks great. Newt Scamander. It's going to be great. I don't know. What are your opinions? Like you said, you don't really care that much about Harry Potter. What are your opinions on them making this movie?
I think kind of it's interesting, like setting. You have a like 1920 setting.
Yeah.
In America, like the character, like the set design and that look great, like the costumes, like it's kind of that world just never really grabbed me.
I'm really interested to see what kind of beasts he finds. Like I need to go. I think they actually created a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book. Like it was supposed to be modeled after the textbook in the school. I really want to go through that, see what type of animals or beasts that they have in there, and see if it'll give us any idea of like if those same beasts are going to show up in this movie. Yeah,
also the EW cover story also gave us the first like plot synopsis as well. So it kind of it sounds fantastical.
Yeah, fantastical. I like it.
I could be swayed to be interested in this. Like once I start seeing like
trailers
and like kind of the promos and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, moving on, because if we keep talking about that, it's just going to be me keep telling how much I love Harry Potter and how I can't wait for this movie. Let's go ahead and move on. So some Assassin's Creed set photos have released. So remember when the that photo of Michael Fassbender came out, and it had him in the assassin's garb. Like, it was just beautiful. But now we actually have some set photos where he is at the headquarters of Abstergo. It has the Abstergo symbol on the wall. Super awesome to see that. It looks like it was pulled just out of the game, because whenever I played Assassin's Creed and they were still like, you're at Abstergo as Desmond Miles, it was kind of like just concrete and glass.
Yeah.
And that's the way
very,
this
like, future modern.
Yeah. That's what this set photo looks like to me. So I'm really excited to see the actual whole thing. What were your thoughts on... Oh, yeah, and there were some photos of, like, weapons that the Templars had used in the past, like swords and stuff.
Which were at Abstergo headquarters.
Yeah. So obviously they definitely pay attention to their history, obviously, because that's all.
And those things
all
look
about.
Like amazing detail.
Yeah,
like,
it really was. Like the craftsmanship on it. Yeah.
It did not look like a movie prop. It looked like something that would be
like a real
legitimate sword.
Yeah, which it might be a real legitimate sword.
It probably is. Yeah.
But anyways, what are your thoughts on these set photos that we got?
I mean, like you just said, Abstergo, they pulled it straight out of Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah. Like,
when Desmond gets pulled from the Animus and you're trying to escape there, like, it looked just like it.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of, which I think would go a long way to convincing the audience that this is the same world that the video games are set in.
Yeah.
So while it's not necessarily a retelling of one of the video game stories, it's another
person who has ancestors.
It's all like, interconnected. Like,
I would love, because they said that you might see some characters from the show or the game show up in the movies. I would love to see Ezio in a movie,
or even like you like have a glancing or a kind of passing moment of like Desmond or something
in the background. Yeah, like when they're doing like a tour of the
or even that like they mention Desmond or something. Like,
So it.
There weren't that many photos, though. So
but
that's the disappointing part.
So eventually we'll get a trailer for this and we'll get some more pictures.
I mean, it's a year away.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, is it really only a year?
It's December 16th next year.
Oh, God. I told you. 2016 is going to be an amazing year.
Yeah, we thought this year was good with movies. Next year's going to be even better.
Yeah, okay, so this year we only had a few superhero movies, right? Next year we're getting like 8. Like 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like you have that, plus you have the video game movies. We got Warcraft, right? Yeah. You got Assassin's Creed. I haven't seen the Warcraft trailer yet. I want to do a trailer reaction to it. I have seen that, yeah. I want to do a trailer reaction to it, so I haven't watched it yet. I'm not going to promise a trailer reaction, but I'm going to try to do it if I get time. But, okay, so moving on from Assassin's Creed, let's talk about a new American version of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. Is going to be rebooted-ish, kind of, maybe. It's been... I've heard different reports. Anyways, the point that we want to make is that the original American version, I haven't seen the original version, but the original American version had Rooney Mara and David Fincher as director, and it had Daniel Craig, and apparently they're not returning for the movie. Now, Alicia Vikander from Ex Machina will play Elizabeth Salander, which I think she is a great actress. I actually watched Ex Machina, really good movie. At the end, I was kind of like, "What the?"
Yeah, it's not your.
I was. It's not your. Tied up in a bow.
It's not your traditional happy ending.
Yeah, it's not a happy ending. Yeah. It's not a happy ending for most people involved. But so it was a really good movie. I'm excited to see what she brings to the role. I just remember how brutal the American version was, and I heard that the
Swedish version's even even worse.
Yeah, I just remember. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the American version to me was brutal, and then. I can't even imagine. I'm gonna have to watch that one of these days.
You should. It's the original ones are great.
Yeah, and then will be adapted from book 4, The Girl in the Spider Web. Okay,
so that's the newest one, which came out earlier this year.
Okay,
which is written by somebody else.
Yeah,
because after Stieg Larsson passed away,
mm-hmm.
So that to me that was the weird thing is like you're kind of skipping ahead in the timeline.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've heard reports that this is going to be what happens, and I've heard other reports that they're rebooting it. I don't know.
Well, it is rebooting from the standpoint of like they're basically starting with book 4.
Yeah.
Like so, basically, the original movie didn't happen in this.
Do the books like not like go in a timeline?
They do, but at the same time, the stories themselves are kind of malleable enough where you could rearrange the order of them.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, the Hornet's Nest has to be with the third book has to be after the second book. But,
have you read the books?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't read the books. So
book 3 takes off immediately where book 2 ended.
Okay, so how would you see them doing it if they're rebooting it and they're starting at book 4? How do you see them doing the story? Do you think that they're going to take concepts?
I've not read the 4th book.
Okay,
so
but what I'm saying is, do you think that they're going to take concepts from book 1 through 3 and then like do it in a slightly different way and put it after book 4? I guess is what I'm asking. Do you think that they could do that?
Definitely see that. I mean, granted, without knowing the specific plot of the 4th book, I could definitely see that happening. Where kind of this would be potentially kind of the almost like a prequel type.
Yeah,
I don't say even though this may be an actual sequel, you could probably flip this and make it more of a prequel type of thing to kind of introduce the characters.
Yeah.
Before you get into like the traditional story, but or you could just kind of pick and pull pieces from those other books and kind of you have this kind of like hodgepodge story.
Yeah, and just to wrap this topic up, it's like I said, I haven't seen the Swedish version, but I saw the American version, and I really liked that movie. It was really dark, really interesting. It definitely like caught my attention.
Feel bad movie of the year when it came out.
Yeah, it definitely caught my attention, and it made me pay attention to the movie.
Yeah,
it was one of those movies where I'm just like, oh, I'll just throw it on in the background, right? When I was doing something, I don't remember, but then like I actually like ended up like being like pulled into it, and I had to watch it. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, what director they get, who's going to replace Daniel Craig. I said, Alicia Vikander is an amazing actress, so I can't wait to see what she does.
The only thing is, like, kind of the style, Elizabeth Salander is very much a, like, punk rock, goth kind of character, whereas, like, again, I've only seen Alicia from Ex Machina, so, like, I don't know if she could really pull off that look.
I think she could. She pulled off being a robot.
Yeah, but again, a lot of it kind of depends on like the direction they want to go with it.
Yep, I agree. All right, moving on to our next topic. What would it be? What would a Movieverse movie news show be without talking about Batman v Superman?
20 minutes shorter.
A show I don't want to watch. Let's put it that way.
It'd be 20 minutes shorter.
It would be. Well, okay, so if we took Star Wars and Batman v Superman out, we'd have like a 15-minute show. All right, so we have an updated plot synopsis from Batman v Superman, so I'm going to read it. So bear with me. Hopefully it goes a little bit better than the last one that I read out.
It doesn't look like there's as many big words.
Yeah, so because yeah. At long last, we see Batman and Superman square off against each other in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, an epic superhero showdown which will change both their lives forever. Clark Kent doesn't trust Gotham's mysterious masked vigilante. Bruce Wayne doesn't trust the alien who nearly destroyed Metropolis, and Lex Luthor, who hates Superman more than anyone, is manipulating both of them for his own twisted ends. Choose your side: the Man of Steel or the Dark Knight. Learn the answer to the age-old question: who would win in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice?
The answer is the audience.
The answer is
the audience.
Batman. No, because I think somebody actually came out this week and said that we will probably see Batman cheating a little bit in his fight against Superman. He's going to.
That's the way he operates, though.
Yeah, he knows.
He takes advantage of the situation.
He knows how to take advantage of Superman, and he's going to exploit that, which makes sense. Why?
Which it sounds like Lex Luthor is going to give him some.
Why the hell would you take on an alien who is as strong as Superman without having some type of thing to exploit? You know what I mean?
Which I imagine he gets from Lex Luthor.
He would die. But yeah, I mean, this confirms everything that we've already known. Lex Luthor is pulling the strings behind the scenes, making these two like butt heads with each other, not like each other. We've been talking about that for a while. So this just
since they started their kind of viral campaign of Lex Luthor.
Well, even before that, when we saw the first trailer, I'm like, Lex Luthor's doing something. Yeah, he's got his thing that he's doing, and he has, he's playing his I think he's like a CEO of like a social like media thing. Like
CEO of LexCorp.
Yeah, well, I know that. But I'm just saying, like in this iteration, I think LexCorp is like a, they're supplying internet to people. They're supplying a means of being social, right? So he knows how to flip the perception of the world, right? I think he's gonna have the world being like, okay, we don't need Superman, right? We want Batman, or vice versa, or whatever. He's going to be pinning these two up against each other, and that's exactly what this confirms.
Yeah, and the only thing that kind of like the confusing part to me is, why does Lex Luthor hate Superman?
Because he finds kryptonite, right? It's from Superman's planet, and then Lex Luthor basically gets cancer from the kryptonite and loses his hair. And because he loses his hair, he hates Superman.
But then how? But that would make sense for movie 2.
It makes sense for the comic books, not the movies. I think Lex Luthor, before Superman shows up, he feels powerful. He feels like he has real power, right? And then Superman shows up and actually has power, and Lex Luthor's like, well, who am I? You know what I mean? Like, I think he has this kind of like inferiority complex when it comes to Superman, and so he's always just trying to get one over on Superman. Yeah, so Lex is a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and that's what we have to say about that. Is there anything else about this description that sticks out to you? Oh, here's something: the choose your side, the Man of Steel or the Dark Knight. It's like it's straight up out of like
the Halo marketing campaign.
No, well, kind of, but it's also like, man, we have Halo, right? You have their side, you have Spartan Locke, and you have the Master Chief, and then you have Captain America: Civil War. You have Team Iron Man and Team Captain America. Choose your side. Like that's their like slogan. Yeah. Choose your side. Like, and then it's the same thing. Choose your. Like, it's like, okay, I get it. Some people are going to say, well, Batman v Superman was announced first. Well, guess what? I'm telling you, Marvel has a plan 10 years in advance. DC did not have a plan before Man of Steel. I'm telling you. Anyways, don't start with me, Greg, and don't start with me, Internet. I don't care who did it first, chicken or the egg, whatever. All I'm saying is, it's too similar. Like, they could have come up with a different thing. You know what I mean? Like, I know you don't want to change your plans based on what another studio is doing, but literally choose your side.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the easy way out, marketing wise. Like, I mean, again, yes, you're right. My Marvel, DC, they're having these kind of similar stories, essentially. Yeah. But at the same time, those stories both existed in the comics.
And that's the only thing.
Both series were extremely popular.
I know. That's the only thing that saves this for me, is the fact that it is both the Captain America Civil War and the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Both of the concepts that are in these movies are straight from the comic books. And so therefore I'm like, okay, I understand. Obviously, you want to compete, right, with the other studio. So the only way that you're going to be able to compete against Iron Man and Captain America is Batman v Superman. That's the only way you can compete.
Yeah.
Like, if you did like a buddy cop movie with
Blue Beetle and Captain Gold,
Booster Gold, yeah,
yeah,
it's not gonna compete against Iron Man and Captain America. Yeah. It's just not gonna do it. So it makes sense. It's just like, really, you could, like, even if they chose a different wording, just a slightly different wording, like, which side do you choose? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just even that, like, would be a little bit better for me. Just like, choose. I don't know. I'm just nitpicking at this point. Moving on. Batman v Superman, or not Batman v Superman, but some more Batman concept art came out. This is a very small topic, but the reason why I wanted to bring it up is the fact that I was looking really closely at the concept art for the Batman, and it looks like he has white eyes. I don't see colors in the pupils or anything like that. It looks like, to me, it looks like what, your cornea would look like if you're wearing like a white contact lens. And so that's why I wanted to bring up to you is the fact that, do we think that we are going to get a Batman who has white eyes, like the animated movies and series and all that stuff? That's my Batman. I want to see a Batman with white eyes. I saw the concept art. It looks like white eyes. I'm just hoping that we get a white-eyed Batman.
Again, it's also, part of it is, it's also concept art,
I know.
It's though a lot of times, very rarely does the concept art match what the final version is. Like, there's so many revisit. And plus, like, again, like, what's the point of drawing an eye color for something that's not, like, final
for
artwork?
people like me who read into it, Greg, that's why. Don't kill my buzz, man. No. But I think it's a possibility. Like, I know you mentioned a point before we started filming, so mention your point.
Is that, maybe it is some kind of, like, cybernetic, like, computer icon, like,
which would
computer eye contact?
It would make sense to, like, if you had that type of thing, which Bruce Wayne has, unlimited technology and resources, he can make a contact lens that you can put into your eye and you can, for instance, see in the dark. Because that's where Batman operates, is in the dark.
Or maybe it is, like, actual, like, lenses, like, while, like, the Christian Bale, like, you saw his actual eyes through the mask. What if the mask does have those kind of, like, white lenses or something? Like,
I don't know if Affleck would be down for that.
Again, that's the thing. It's the other way that you would get those white eyes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we already see that with the Mecha Batman suit.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they're going to do that with the regular suit. If they do it, I mean, we're probably going to see his eyes. We're probably going to see his pupils. But if they do it, it'll be some type of contact lens, I think. Which would make sense in this day and age because there are colored contacts where people who have brown eyes can have green or blue or red.
And there are patents for basically like augmented reality contact lenses.
Yeah, so it's definitely based on some form of reality. And I would like to see white eyes in Batman. Just because it's weird. Like, for me, if I saw a dude with pupils, I'd be like, dude, you're a guy in a bat outfit.
You're a guy in a bat suit.
Like, but if he has white eyes,
like,
you lose
that guy's crazy.
You lose that human connection with the person, right? Because part of the way that you talk
eyes
to people,
are the windows of the soul.
Sure. Part of the reason why when you communicate with people, you look in their eyes because you can see their pupils and you connect with them. But I just stared at you deep in the eyes, so I've seen your soul.
Like what you see?
No. but no, so like you have those white eyes where like you can't really tell. I don't know, you can't tell if their eyes are dilated, you know what I mean? So you lose that human connection, and I feel like that would be a better way to portray a dude in a bat suit beating the crap out of people. That's just me. But let's move on. And this is you let me have my Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. You let me have my Batman v Superman Batman concept art, and so this one's for you, Greg. The Scarlett Johansson reportedly attached to Gamergate movie, and take it away because I don't know anything about this.
So, basically, the whole Gamergate thing, for those who don't know, in 2014, there's a kind of independent video game developer that released a game, critically well received, but in that kind of hoopla, her ex-boyfriend accused her of basically adultery and sleeping with like video game critics in order to get good reviews.
Oh, so this is like Spygate but with games. So it's like gamer. I get it. Okay.
And so
the dots are connecting people,
and then which led to a kind of a internet backlash against the developer, whose name is Zoe Quinn. Mm-hmm. And Scarlett Johansson is reportedly would be playing Zoe Quinn.
I love me some Scarlett Johansson.
So this is all done with Amy Pascal's new production company.
Ooh, yeah, because she's getting that Disney money.
Sony, no.
Oh, she is Sony.
She's the ex-Sony head.
For whatever reason, I was thinking Lucasfilm, but that's Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah. Amy Pascal is Sony. Wow. So I wonder how she's got the money. Well, I guess she's running. She took a demotion. She's getting paid less money. People.
She's a golden parachute CEO.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So continue. Sorry for my stupid outburst.
Zoe Quinn is releasing a memoir.
Yeah.
Next year about this whole scenario, and that's what Amy Pascal bought the rights to.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the story is going to be told from Zoe Quinn's point of view.
Okay. So it's going to make her look good.
Probably. Or at least make her look like the victim.
Yeah.
But there's no official script, no director, or any of the other cast.
You know what this kind of reminds me of is, I've been paying a lot of attention to the Steve Jobs movie with Michael Fassbender, and how Steve Jobs' widow didn't want the movie to get made because it depicted Steve Jobs in a certain light. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't comment on what happens in that movie. But from what I understand, he wasn't depicted in the greatest of light with, his daughter and that type of thing. And this is like the flip side of it. This is like the actual person like giving the rights to somebody to make a movie about themselves. Where Steve Jobs, he gave the rights to make a book about him, right? And the person who wrote the book has the rights to that book. So then that's what they made the movie off of. But Steve Jobs wasn't alive, so he couldn't tell him no, type of thing. Whereas this is a totally different thing, where the person is still alive. They gave the rights to somebody to make a book, and then from there, they're also making the movie. And
also, again, like, kind of all of the facts aren't really even out in this scenario, too. Yeah. So, I mean, it could end up that the nature of this story the story of the movie changes between now and when it actually does.
I think this will be a really interesting movie because
it's a video game movie that's not about video games. I feel like it's kind of like this weird
biopic, right?
Basically, I mean, not necessarily a biopic. I think I would see it more as like a social network or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where it's based on real events, but it's kind of from a certain one person's point of view.
And I'm just reading this last line that we have here, which led to other men in the gaming community banding together to attack Quinn. That's what the gaming community does. That's like they're just. I mean, whenever I'm on Xbox and I'm playing Call of Duty, it's just always people being like, "Oh, F you, F your mother," blah, blah, blah. Like just saying like a whole bunch of terrible crap. Anyways, I think I think it'll be interesting to see the gaming world in this type of light, to see kind of like behind the scenes stuff. Yeah,
that mass media is going to go see behind the curtain.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to our last topic real quick. This is just a quick topic I wanted to touch on in the gaming area. Call of Duty is reportedly getting a shared cinematic universe. You don't really play Call of Duty. You're more of a Halo guy, right?
I mean, I've played up to, I played all the Modern Warfare games. Yeah. I played most of the World War II ones.
Okay. My thing with this is I'm actually pretty stoked that they're doing this because I feel like there's so much that you could do with this. You know what I mean? Like most war stories are typically based in reality, right?
Or they're so like sci-fi-ish that
So I would like to see a fictional, more realistic, you know what I mean? Like that isn't actually based on real events type of thing. I mean, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, kind of a fictional, realistic war.
And it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Are they going to go back to like World War II type era? Are they going to be like they are doing with the Advanced Warfare and the Black Ops 3 where it's more futuristic weaponry type thing? There's a lot of story that they could tell here.
My only concern is how are they going to get a shared cinematic universe when the games don't even share the same universe? Like,
I do agree with that.
Like, the Modern Warfare games are kind of their own self-contained thing. The Black Ops games are their own separate thing. Like,
I will say this.
So it's kind of like, what are they really sharing?
It is interesting because it seems like Call of Duty would make a good like just vertical like sequels, right?
Yeah,
that would make sense. So shared cinematic universe is a little confusing, but I'm still excited on the concept.
Unless they are going to share it with the video games.
Kind of like how Assassin's Creed is doing, right? Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they take some of the games and characters and like tie them together in the movie. Be interesting.
Yeah. So that's what, like, I'm so also too part of that story. Because I actually looked up after you mentioned that they are opening their own film studio.
Yeah. Well, a lot of game developers are like Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed opened up their own movie studio because
Microsoft opened one and then closed one.
Yeah, so I am sold on the fact of Call of Duty getting movies. I think
actually they have like one scheduled for 2018.
That would be awesome. I'm excited to see what they do with that. But that is our show for the day. So yeah, that's it. Bye, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. So that's our show for the day, guys. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about any of the topics that we talked about today. Do not spoil anything for Star Wars. If you do, I will ban you for life. And I am not joking.
He's not.
Look in my eyes. I'm not joking. But seriously, do not spoil anything. I get pissed about that because I know how much I'm looking forward to this movie. So if other people will ruin it for not only me, but other people who watch these videos, I will hunt you down. And that's that. Anyways, so let us know what you guys think about any of the topics that we talked about today, minus any spoilers. Do not do that.
If you want to suggest fan theories, that's fine.
Fan theories are fine, but do not base it on anything that you read this week about a certain character being of a certain lineage of certain other characters. Don't. Anyways, let us know in the comments what you thought. Like the video if you like watching our videos and you like seeing me gush over Harry Potter and
other nerd things.
And Greg, of course, as well. He doesn't gush as much as I do. He keeps me grounded. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to check out our Sunday shows that we do when we can. They're supposed to be every week. We'll try to keep doing that for you guys. I think I might be able to get in another one next week, hopefully. I have trailer reactions up. We have some movie reviews. Hopefully we'll have more movie reviews coming soon. Hopefully you get your show up and running.
I would like to.
These are a lot of hopefullys, but guys, we are doing our damnedest to bring you content. Also, follow us on all of our social medias, facebook.com/movieverseonline, instagram.com/movieverseonline, or Instagram @movieverseonline. Nobody uses instagram.com, do they?
I don't know.
Just @movieverseonline at Instagram.
I don't even use Instagram, so I don't know.
@movieverse2 on Twitter. Follow us on all of our social medias. You can talk to me on there. I'll chat back, all that great stuff. And until next time, guys, keep watching movies. And let us know what movies you've seen that you liked and you recommend. That's a good thing to do, right?
Yeah.
If you guys know any movies, even if they're not brand new, if you've seen a movie and you want to recommend it to us, comment down below, because other people who might not have seen those movies will watch them as well. So that's it, guys. See you later.